everybody's Cameron here, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a game that is in the beta for Steam right now called Paladins. What this is, if you don't already know what it is, it's pretty much an Overwatch clone where they took all the characters and swapped their abilities a bit, and then they called it a day. And it's free to play, but Overwatch originally was supposed to be a free-to-play game where you would buy all the heroes or unlock them somehow. But instead of that, they put a $40 price tag on it and just let you play it with all the heroes. Paladins took that idea and thought that they would take every single thing that they had in their game, swap them around, so, you know, like, give Ryan Hart May's Freeze Gun, and give Reaper McCree's Revolver. And they did that, and they made it into a free-to-play game where you have to unlock / buy the characters, except for, like, you know, the ones that you start out with. In the gameplay you see here, I'm playing as Dragonite, which is just Pharah. No one else, it's just Pharah. I want to talk about this game because, despite it being an Overwatch ripoff, it is actually pretty freaking fun. I had lots of fun playing it. And because it's an Overwatch ripoff, I kind of already knew how all the characters worked. So, yeah. There's a bunch of videos going up about it now, like about Paladins, and should you download it? Yeah. I mean, it is really easy to run, and the gameplay you're seeing here, I was displaying it on very high graphics, 1080p, and recording it in 60 FPS, and like, if I wasn't recording, it would have been running at 60, but if you look at the side, it says my ping and my FPS. It went down to 30 because I was recording in 1080p 60 FPS. And but still, I have like one of the oldest graphics cards to ever exist, okay? I have an Nvidia GeoForce GTX 730, and that's really old. So, for me to be able to put them on very high, I mean, I didn't have them on maximum, alright, but they were like just one lower. So that's pretty good. It's really easy to run. Another thing is because it's free to play, anyone can play it. Even people with a Mac, and you might be wondering why I'm talking about this. My friend Christopher has a Mac. He has access to like no games at all, because you would be surprised how many games are for Windows but not for Mac. This game is, so anybody can play it on any format they want. Also, it has controller support. I didn't use it just because, you know, why, but it does. How it works is, in the beginning, you see, like, I'm gonna talk about some differences now because it's not completely the same. There is definitely lots of differences. One difference, as you can see, is right whenever the game starts. Whenever there's about 1 second left before the doors, in quotes, open, because really they're just like force fields, but a horse spawns under you, and you get to ride. You don't choose when the horse spawns, it just kind of spawns, and then you run there. And once you get there, if you press any button other than W, A, S, and D, you get off your horse, and you have to stay off your horse for the rest of the match until, you know, you die again and respawn, and then you can run back out. Is that a bad or a good thing? It's good because you can get there a lot faster instead of having to spend all this time walking like you would normally in Overwatch, but it's also bad because it kind of takes away the point of, like, Overwatch, the reason you'd have to walk there is because it would kind of count as more of a waiting time to respawn, except you're not actually dead, so it kind of gives you this sense of, hey, I respawned. But, you know, like, whatever. Respawn times are the same, by the way. Another difference is for the control point. The only game mode I managed to play is 1 because I haven't leveled up enough or something. I can't tell if I've been playing against bots or not, but either way, it's still pretty fun. Deaths don't see as, whenever I die, I don't get as mad as I do on Overwatch, if that makes any sense. So, for people who get mad a lot, this game should be good for you. How the only game mode I've played works is 2 teams fight over the point in the middle, kind of like a King of the Hill style thing. So, they fight over the middle, and whoever bar gets to the top first, or whoever's bar is the highest by the time the timer goes down, that is who gets to push the payload. And it's not mandatory, but it's a bonus that can get you like 2 rounds worth of wins instead of just 1. So if your team captures it and then manages to push the payload all the way to their spawn, then they won 2 rounds technically. But if they only manage to cap the point but they don't get to push it, then they've only won 1 round. And the limit is 3, so the first to win 3 rounds wins, which is why pushing the payload can really help and save time, but like I said, it's not mandatory, and that's pretty cool. It's kind of hard to catch on in the beginning because first thing you're like trying to capture this checkpoint, next thing you know someone has a payload and you're like, what? But yeah, also because of that, the maps are symmetrical, so there is no like there's not that much variation. It's all symmetrical, but like, you know, whatever. Let's talk about the classes you get to start out with. I can't remember their names exactly, but the classes I played personally is the Widowmaker, the Soldier, and the Dragon Knight. I also know that there's like a Hanzo and a support Junkrat / May character. I think those are all the ones you start off with. Oh yeah, and then there's a Reinhardt guy. You start off with him too. The one I like the most would either be between Soldier and Widowmaker. I don't know why, but okay, well actually I do know why. On console, which is what I have Overwatch for, it's kind of hard to snipe with the controller, and with Widowmaker you kind of have to get headshots even though it's fully charged. With this game, for one thing, I can use a mouse and keyboard, which is great. And for another thing, you don't have to, headshots do more damage, but you don't have to get a headshot to do a large amount of damage, which is good because, you know, more people want to play as her. And so she can do some big damage from far away. She's pretty good in that sense. And the reason I like Soldier is because, you know, he still has his sprint, and he still has, he doesn't have the rockets, but he does have a grenade, which I kind of like more than the rockets, because if there's a Reinhardt with a shield, you can kind of throw the grenade under it, and it'll detonate behind him, which is pretty cool. I've done that multiple times. It's pretty fun. His primary does a bunch of damage, which is cool. His grenade is really fun and easy to use, because, like, everyone piles up on that point in the beginning. You can just chuck a grenade in and get, like, a 5-kill streak instantly. And, yeah, and Dragon Knight, I also like him a lot. He's the one in the gameplay, so he just, you know, jumps, shoots rockets. He's fair, except instead of having a rocket barrage for an ulti, he just, like, charges at someone, and if he touches them, they instantly die. Anyway, I'm sorry this video was kind of pointless and short, but I have something special going on soon, so I will see you guys whenever.